Well, banger racing is always a bit of a lottery, much more so than probably any other form of motorsport. And therefore it's very difficult to sit here and say to you, well, perhaps this particular guy is going to win. But so we'll have to go on a bit of past performance here. A good consistent driver. 625, Keith Turner, Batman. The blue flashing light on the roof and a large bat painted on the side of the car. I'm sure will help you identify him. I think he's one perhaps we can keep an eye on as they go round. Another of the men who usually manages to turn in a good performance is car number 100, Dave Melbourne from Yateley. Quite a lot of the Melbourne family take part in various forms of motorsport, bangers, super rods, etc. And he's got a good chance of being in there in this scrap. But of course, you never know who's going to sneak up behind and whack you into the safety fence. Here they come, round the turn, and there's an immaculate old car. Looks like an old Daimler Majestic. Let's see how majestically he performs in this one as we get underway. And there's trouble already. Oh, the Daimler did well there. Swung a couple out of the way and kept himself going. In fact, Keith Turner, Batman, is still in there. And here we come. One leaps into the fence there as the leaders come through. 551, Steve Keat the leader, but 484 is looking, Phil Garner looking decidedly sick, and I think that's just about the end of his race. Steve Keat the leader. Certainly getting rid of the opposition quite comfortably there. Somebody gives a little nudge as he goes past, but he still stays in there. 325 doesn't though, and that big heavy rover, well and truly, two rovers in fact, 3 litre and the older type, 90, jammed together. 551 sails by though. Rather nice paintwork on that job too. Laps in this King of Crash event, and 2 of them have gone. There's car number 25, Alan Stern from Chingford in his Daimler. As you can see, quite an assortment. Vauxhalls, Austins, Morris, 1 or 2 Fords. Batman has been in trouble. Keith Turner, 625 from Reading, but he's getting himself going back again. 380, meanwhile, parked in the safety fence. Dennis White from Southampton. And a cloud of steam as the radiator goes. 551, the leader just gone through. And there he is, looking very sad. Poor old Dennis White. .58, meanwhile, has moved through to take it up. 551 has dropped down into second place. It's Frank Gott from Hailing Island in the lead. A couple of back markers sitting just in front of him. 58 the leader then. 551 is second. And car number 168, I think it is, who's third. We'll sort them out in a moment for you. Our leader going around the outside, or trying to go around the outside in that Bring of Blue machine. Just about to take on the number 20 Roger Wilkinson backmarker car. Finishes on the speedway track and loses a bit of ground. Oh, that Daimler's looking a bit crumpled at the front now. He shot through the front windscreen pillar, seems to be somewhat depressed. Oh, and this is the leader being demolished. That's the leader being demolished there by number 100, Dave Melbourne. That's 58. Oh, and the second car, 551, has run straight into him. Helped somewhat by that other one, but that hasn't done either of those any good. 58 Frank got desperately trying to resume. And in fact, Dave Melbourne, that's the one that did all the damage. He's not in the placings. He's a back marker, but he's obviously decided now he's going to cause as much trouble as he possibly can. 551, I think, is back in the lead because he got going again after that pile up fairly quickly. I think he's back in there. I think 168 is now second. Rejoins as the rest of them go through. And I thought something had happened there. Not only is the front pillar gone, but the door's gone, the wing's gone, but reverse gear hasn't gone. He's trying to get back into the race. 8 laps gone. .168 is the leader. A lot of chopping and changing while we've been looking at one or two of the others. Laps ticking away. 9 gone now. 11 to go. .272, elbowing his way past 168, and that's up into the lead. If that other chap doesn't put him out, but the other one will do. Then he bounces off. Oh, what luck! What luck! And 22 is getting his desserts now for daring to get in there and mix it. Maurice Vincent poked into the fence in 22. Well, these lads really entering the spirit of the thing. So we've got 272 now. Richard Hart from Bishop Stortford is in the lead. 168 is the man who's chasing him. 272. Oh, what a majestic performance. Meanwhile, he's decided to mix it in there, but elsewhere there's still problems for 272 and 168. 225 and 20, Roger Wilkinson. He's finding his share of trouble, although the car isn't looking that battered. There they go then, the first two cars. 272, Richard Hart from Bishop Stortford, and 168, Malcolm Girling from Norwich. Doing battle into that top bend, and rain beginning to come down a little now, and that's slowed them up a bit and certainly made the surface very greasy. Here's Dick Hart. Car looking relatively undamaged on the, at least on the near side. That offside front wing's a bit dented, and the leader, what a beautiful manoeuvre. 168 shot through there, he drifted a little wide, and 168 waltzed through. Number 100, Dave Melbourne, tried to have a go at 272 as he went by, but he wasn't quite quick enough to catch him. But he's off in hot pursuit again now. He got himself in trouble early on, I think, and he's now decided just to spend the rest of the race causing as much problem as he possibly can. And our Daimler getting worse and worse and worse. Oh, dear. Have got a puncture. And there's the leader, 168. Disposing of 81, takes a beautiful pirouette, and he takes number 11 out with him as he goes by. And that Rover is going well. A bit of steam and a slightly modified front bonnet, but apart from that, it's flying. Built like tanks, very good cars for Bangor Racing. Really are strong. Sweeps past the 234 car. Left the tangle with him. Let's have a look at the laps. 16 gone now, 4 more to go. And the remains of the Daimler dragging itself through. There's 58 just going through. He was an early leader and got himself in trouble. Meanwhile, the big Rover Coupe, 168, just nudges his way past. Oh, and that's... what a controlled drift! 1-1-1, Ron Ward from Yakeley. Lovely stuff. Three more laps to go. 168's the leader, still 272 there. Here they come. And, ooh! Number 22, the mugger, got well and truly mugged by number 100, Dave Melbourne. And that's what's left. 272, second place man just going through. This is the leader. 2 more laps to go. That's the second place man, 272. And the leader on his last lap now. Comfortably there. speedway track. Coming around the final turn. Checkered flag at the ready. Whoops. A little bit of corner cutting past the baton remains of that danger and a wave. And that's 168. Taking himself over the line. Malcolm Girling, there's the second man, 272. Richard Hart from Bishop Stortford. And the third man home will be car number 58, Frank Gott. Three wheels on my wagon. Unreliable, these remotes. Promptly out of the way goes the control car, and there's 15 laps of chaos to come. 1 or 2 taking it rather tight on the speedway track, which is a rather surprising course, but as you can see, the shale very quickly gets on the tarmac and makes it even more slippery than it was to start with. And slight obstructions in the middle of the track don't help matters either. And here's somebody we'll be keeping our eye on, Dick Dawkins, car number 125, the reigning world champion. Won his title a few weeks ago, but he's already got problems there, a bit of steam coming out. But we'll keep an eye on him and see how he goes. And 805, I don't think it's going to take a great deal more part in this. And that's really brought the track width right down to about 1 car, to the point where the tarmac stops and the speedway track starts. There they come. Takes a couple of laps to sort themselves out, and then in a moment or two we'll try and pick out who in fact is the leader. Remember, the object of the exercise in this, of course, is still to win the race, but if you can dispose of as much of the opposition as possible, then so much the better, and there's no better way than that to get rid of the world champion. Stuff him in the fence in a cloud of steam and leave him sitting there. Oh, and that's a very dangerous occupation, poking your back end out into the oncoming traffic. Going to make things very, very slippery down there. But Dick Dawkins doesn't give up that easily, and he's back in the melee. A beautiful pirouette there. But if you can, once you start to go, if you can keep your foot on it and finish up facing the right way, that loses the minimum amount of time. Well, now 3 laps have gone. 484 somewhere out there. 484 is the man who, at least when we last looked, was in the lead. Less. And the track getting very, very slippery. They're funneling down a single file in order to avoid getting their wheels covered in shale from the speedway track. 272, somewhat lightened by the removal of one of the wings at least. See now the hazard they have to face, and that's one of the problems. When you're out on the loose, it doesn't take very much of a shove on your back end to put you facing the wrong way. That's 2:07. Les Long, having lost a bit of time, now twiddling around to rejoin. 5:34, in fact, 6:34 rather, has in fact gone up into the lead. We've lost that other car, and it's 6:34 the leader, 2:39 is second, and 1:68 is third. Things happen and places change so quickly, especially in the early stages of these. It's a bit of a job to keep track of everything. But we've lost now probably something like a dozen of our starters, who are now scattered and littered around the raceway, and the others get a little bit more clear run for their own performance and to dispose of the opposition. 2:39, Eric Pearson from Bury St Edmunds is the victim this time. And there's 5:34. Dave Last from Ipswich. Won't last much longer if he carries on like that. And Mad Malk, 168, Malcolm Girling from Norwich was the victim. Well, 5:34 was the leader last time round. I suspect we probably have lost. In fact, we have. Yes, number 20's now taken it up. Number 20 has shot through to take it up. Number 20's Roger Wilco. And a really terrific crunch on the front of Dick Dawkins' motor, and I think probably that now will put him out. Hasn't done that one a lot of good either. And that's the leader just being shunted round. Roger Wilco, he's getting his desserts. 2:39 was second at the time he got into trouble. 8:02 was third, and 5:06 was fourth. That's the way they stood with 8 laps gone of this 15-lapper, so a little over halfway, and it's now 2:39, in fact, who's the leader. 2:39 is now the leader. These places chopping and changing very rapidly. Eric Pearson from Bury St Edmunds is the leader now in car number 239. And there he is, looking relatively unscathed. We saw him getting spun around early on, but it was a spin onto the speedway track, and didn't do a lot of damage. And he's really looking in extremely good condition. A little nudge on the back end as someone took a swipe at him as he went through. I don't think that taxi's actually got his flag, a flag available for hire as the leaders come through. But trouble there for car number 37. But he's managing to get out of the way and get back in again. Still 2:39. 8:02 is second, and 5:06 is third. We'll see if we can find those ones for you amongst the mayhem. 5:10 gets a bit of a shunt from 2:30. 2:30, Ray Copping keeps going. 5:10 is not going quite as fast. We've got 11 laps gone, still 2:39. Eric Pearson, he's still there. 8:02, holding that second place. 2:39, 8:02, the second place man getting stuffed in the fence. 8:02 getting stuffed in the fence there. Oh, and there's Roger Wilco, an earlier leader, getting his comeuppance from 194. 130 looking to do the dirty on him any moment. Oh, he's moved, but he couldn't quite catch the back. He missed him. He missed him, and if he can just hang his back out a moment or two longer. No, he's left him. It's worked because he finished up putting on the outside, and he got boxed in, and that is just as good as putting the man out. Still 2:39 is still there with 3 more laps to go. 2:39 Eric Pearson still there. 8:02 is still there in second place, and car number 5:06 is there in third. Oh, I don't know how much longer. 2:07 had a good go at him there, but 2:39 managed to survive that, and he's going to dispose of that other one into the bargain. But is he going to get him back? No. Not quite what he intended. I think 393 was originally going to try and take his back end as he went past, but it didn't work out that way. 2:39 then. Stopped before he got there. Still 2:39, holding on to this lead. Twisting his way round the turn. The 1 lap marker board goes out for him this time, so he mustn't do anything silly now. 1 more lap to go for 2:39. Sails down on the inside, avoids trouble there. Round the water tower turn. He's just got the back straight and 1 more bend to go. Still 2:39. 8:02 is still second, and 29 has moved up into third place, but this is the leader. He's got a virtually clear run home now, just a couple of cars in front. Hanging on. Round the final turn. One back marker in front of him. He's going to hit the fence! He's going to hit the fence, but he bounces off. He bounces off to take it. 2:39. Eric Pearson from Bury St Edmunds is the winner. 8:02 was the second place man a moment or two ago, and he's steaming his way round here to come through. Is he going to make it? I think he might just about. He hasn't got very far to go now. Trouble goes on behind him, but he's not that bothered. He's only interested in trying to claim his second place. And he's going to make it for second, and number 20, Roger Wilco, is going to come back to take third. As you can see, the attraction in this particular race is pairs, banger pairs. Those chains make them very firmly secured together, both front and rear pillars. And it does mean a little bit of cooperation. They've certainly gone mad on the amount of chain on some of those. A lot of cooperation is required here from the drivers in order to achieve a car that basically goes forward instead of trying to go sideways all the time. But of course, you've got twice the power, twice the weight in order to shove the opposition into the fence, try and tip them over. Well, that's rather difficult, of course, because one does tend to keep the other one on the ground. And it's a bit of a job to get two up in the air at once. But nevertheless, that is the lineup. Bangers, of course, basically are cars that have failed their MOT and have had all the interior trimmings and anything that might burn removed, the glass is removed, a full seat harness is fitted, and then you take it out on the track and have a lot of fun. And just for a change, you team up with somebody else, and that's what banger pairs racing is all about. 12 laps this one, and as you can see, cooperation problems are considerable, especially for two Scotsmen. They're in the two cars, both numbered 43. That's Keith Miller and Colin Roberts. And there's one or two more who have taken a little excursion into the safety fence. Poor old 107, that's Phil Wysowski from Reading. He's well and truly jammed in there. There's the 371 car of Phil Hazel. He's with Ray Packham in 136. And as you can see, it's a little difficult. If your pal doesn't cooperate when you want to get going again, oh boy, have you got problems. 353 is going rather well without too many problems at the moment. That's Bill Aldridge coupled with Trevor Newland. Oh, a Jaguar over there. Very expensive looking lineup. And there we've got little and large, literally, I think. 323 Jeff Roberts and 324 Barry Bridges. Now that, I reckon, has got to be the way to do it. Mad Malcolm in car 168 jammed against the fence. Well now, in fact, it's the 323 combination that is in the lead. Malcolm Girling in 168, desperate to try and get out of the safety fence. A few others have decided to join them in there in what is now producing an enormous cloud of steam. And oh dear, our little and large combination seems to have come to grief and is now sitting in a somewhat precarious position sideways across the track. And these two aren't doing a great deal better either. The galloping horses we've seen in past years on the roof there of the 428 combination. Oh, little steering problems there and here as well. A bit of wheel spin there. I don't know whether he's trying to pull against the other one. And look at the two Scotsmen being pushed sideways by the 1-2-2-3-5-3 combination of Trevor Newland and Bill Aldridge. London drivers there. There's car number 335. A real mixture, as you can see. There's a Jag and a Triumph in that particular combination. Let's try and find out who's in the lead. The combination including 197, and that's Pete Agate, if we can find him. That, in fact, is the leader. 428 and 52 are now looking decidedly sad. That's Bob Alderman and Robert Adams. 129 is Mick Conlon, and 127, or 197, Pete Agate. Now, that's the leading combination at the moment. Former English stock car champion, in fact, Mick Conlon, out in a banger for a bit of fun today. Here we are. This is the leading pair, and they certainly are going in unison. There's no doubt about that at all. Real close cooperation. There's a lot of wreckage that they're driving past. We've got 6 laps gone, so we're basically halfway through this one now. Oh, straight into the fence for that pair. I don't think he can quite get round. A little bit of persuasion is now necessary to get the Collivers out of the way. That's 74 and 73, Chris Colliver and Chris Colliver Jr. Here's those mad Scotsmen again, Keith Miller and Colin Roberts in the 243s. But despite the hassles, they're not going too badly at all. Oh, they're going sideways. Mind you, a little bit of help coming from the 225 combination of Graham Lashley and Nick Linfield. But with 7 laps gone, it's still 197.
197, Pete Agate, and 129, Mick Conlon. That's the combination that is in the lead. These two white cars here. And they really have got their act together, no doubt about it. Oh, a little bit of lift on the inside there, but that's not too much of a problem. A cloud of smoke coming from a couple of that have decided to park in the fence. 572 comes out to rejoin. That's the source of all the smoke as the leading pair come by. 125 and 20, Roger Wilco in 20, Dick Dawkins in 125, a pair from Aldershot. They're not going too badly, actually. And these are cars that are still in the lead. It's the 122 combination, in fact, that is in second place. Trevor Newland and Bill Aldred, 122 and 353. They are the second ones. And then the 73-74 combination of Chris and Chris. That's right, Chris and Chris Colliver are next, father and son. So the lap's ticking away. There's 3 more laps to go now. There's 129 and 197 who are in the lead. Mick Conlon and Pete Agate. 457 and 12. They're a little way back. That's Jeff Baker and Michael Turner from Aldershot. There's 122 and 353, Trevor Newland and Bill Aldred. Trevor Newland comes from Wallington in Surrey, and Bill Aldred is in Croydon, and they're chasing for a place. The pair they're looking for is this shining white pair, who are now quite a little way clear, actually, of the rest of the opposition. Time ticking away, they're the leaders. Coming down the straight here now. A little bit of opposition, in fact. They've got to get rid of that pair in front of them. The 122 pair, there they are, they're second, and they are quite a long way behind, in fact, and they're being pushed by the 73-74 combination in third place. Now, this is the battle for second, and in fact, the Colliver boys are now trying to dispose of the other two. The leaders are away and well clear, inside their final lap, in fact, but this is the scrap for the lead. This is the scrap for second place, and what a scrap it's turning out to be. Are they going to push them all the way round? The leaders are now coming round the final turn. Here they come. They're just coming to the final finishing straight now, so we'll see them over the line. That's the winners, no doubt about that, and the scrap for second place continues. And here they are. This is the battle. Who's going to be second? Can the Colliver boys push the other two out of the way? They're trying ever so hard as they come down the line, but it's no good. The best they can do, in fact, is to push them over the line, and when they get them over the line, that is the point at which they're able finally to spin them out of the way. Well, that was a good scrap, and our winners, of course, were the combination of 197 Pete Agate and 129 Mick Conlon, and they're still cruising around very comfortably in beautiful unison. Well, a big crowd waiting for this English Championship, and 43 cars even on this big Ipswich raceway is a very big turnout. There's 3 former world champions out there, and of course the reigning world champion as well. If you get a chance to see him, that's car number 267, Sean Lydiard. His nickname is Mr. Bump, and there it is for all to see. And Mr. Bump is very appropriate because he's not afraid to get in there and do a bit of bumping. The gold roof, of course, signifying his World Championship tag. The pace car gets well and truly out of the way, and we've now got 15 laps to come to find the Bangor English champion of 1985. And there's already trouble for the 125 car. That was one of the former world champions, Dickie Dawkins, who we saw, who we can see there ploughing his way through. But that's the way it is with Bangor Racing. There's no quarter expected and certainly none given. If somebody is in the way, well, you just push. You can push them in the fence, push them into another car, shove them onto the speedway track on the inside. It doesn't really matter. There's very few rules. 157 pushing his way through there is Jeffrey Priestley, just going past number 20, Roger Wilkinson from Aldershot. Roger Wilco, one of the real tough contenders. 87, Nick Linfield, just getting a little bit of attention from the 157 car. He's another former world champion. As I said, there's 3 of them in this event. 438's got problems as well. Tony Lay, a local driver from Ipswich, he should know how to get out of trouble because it's his local track, races here very regularly and should know his way around. Well, in a race like this, it takes a lap or two just to settle down, because with a big field of 43, there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving until things do just settle down. As we look at the lap sheet, in fact, when we last saw it, Nick Linfield was the leader, 87. Number 20, Roger Wilkinson, who we saw a moment or two ago, in fact, is in second place. 323 is third. And they're the 1, 2, 3, 87, 20, and 323, if you see those coming through. So that's the way they run at the moment. And at the moment, it looks a little bit chaotic, and that's really the way they go. Right in on that track there, up on his side. Now, the driver probably sort of stuck in there, but in fact, great. That's the way to get out of it. And we've got the track almost blocked as the hearse goes through on the inside. Certainly must be a bit frightening to be stuck inside there under those circumstances. Right alongside me, I've got former hot rod world champion Barry Lee. A bit hectic, isn't it, Barry?
A bit hectic. I would have been petrified if I'd have been upside down with those lunatics roaring into me at speeds in excess of 50, 60 miles per hour. But, you know, the worst thing is you look out of the window and you see a blooming hearse coming towards you. What more could you want? 267, Mr. Bump has just spun out, and we're back now with 447, the Red Baron. There he is. The steering wheels are going to the right, and he's trying to turn to the left. Another nice bump from the Baron on the hearse.
And as we look at the lap sheet now, with 5 of the 15 laps gone, it's 87. Nick Linfield is the leader. Car number 225, Graham Lashley, is in second place. So we've got 2 of our former world champions there right at the front of the field in this one. 87 and 225, then 20, Roger Wilkinson, and then comes the 324 car of Barry Bridger from Farnham. But this is the guy who is the leader, 87, Nick Linfield, and he's got himself a little bit of a lead here now, keeping well away from the others to try and avoid the attention. I'm just trying to see how far back the rest of them is. Yes, 225 and 20 are about 30, 40 yards behind him, so they've got quite a bit to do. So 87 then, Nick Linfield is the leader. 225, Graham Lashley second, number 20, Roger Wilkinson third, and the Red Baron has Barry said certainly intent on causing a bit of problem, because he knows that many of them will be after him. They all like to try and tip those big ones over. But this is the leader. He's going well, isn't he, Barry?
He's 87. He's going very, very well indeed. He started off with a very pretty car, and it still stayed in the right direction. And as I say, he looks nice. He's driving sensibly. As the car just spun there in front of him, he's taking him out. Now this big XJS is going into the fence, and 87 is pushing. Now he's being pushed by another car, and in fact he's spun himself out, and he's got a radiator problem now as the steam is coming through into the car.
That's it. He's got water problems there. We're going to see him slow now, and I think we'll begin to see 225 and 20 probably catch up. That 91 car is a back marker. He's not in the placing, so it's 225 and 20 now we're going to be looking for, trying to catch. The hearse is still going well. There's 20 and 225. I think Roger Wilkinson, in fact, has now moved with 5 laps to go, has moved up into second place. And as I speak, in fact, Nick Linfield, 87, I can see, has now gone out. So the former world champion, who was the leader, has gone out, and it is number 20, Roger Wilkinson, who in fact has now taken it up. There's Roger Wilco, just on the right of the picture, and 225 is in second place. That's Graham Lashley, who's now chasing him. In third place now, it's 113, Carl Gallagher from Effingham. Time is running out. We're down to 4 more laps to go, and Roger Wilco is going like a train.
Absolutely, Nigel, there. He's driving a very, very good race, because actually Roger got spun completely round and lost a lot of time. He's managed to come back in, and there are only about 12, 14, 15 cars left running, but Roger is driving superbly. Watch him take this Vauxhall out in front of him here.
He'll try and get that Jag on the back end there and apply a little bit of pressure. If he hangs his back end like that and Roger gets anywhere near, that'll soon go. I can promise you that. Here comes the chance. Oh, he's decided he didn't have to push. He didn't have to push. He went out onto the speedway track, leaving a clear run for Roger. And he's now about 30 yards ahead of the 225 car, is still holding second place. 113 has now come up to third, Carl Gallagher. Fourth place is the 122 car of Trevor Newland. And behind him, we've got about 3 or 4 more, but they're some way back. It's still number 20, Roger Wilkinson, who's the leader. There's 2 more laps to go now.
Jaguar v Jaguar there, but Roger's Jaguar, Roger Wilco's the champion's Jaguar, came off best.
He's not afraid to push, is Roger Wilkinson. Now 5:22, back marker right on his tail. He'll want to have a go at the leader, although the other car is not in the placings. That doesn't stop him wanting to try and put the leader out. That's a favourite trick. We're inside the final lap now for Roger Wilkinson. He looks like getting this English Championship tag if he can just keep himself out of bother, and if he can keep that 5:22 car that's just out of picture on his tail and coming in fast, if he can just keep him off. Here comes the other car, a chance to take him out, and he's done it. That's Roger Wilkinson. Now we've got to look back and find the second place man is going to come through and take it. In fact, 2:25, the green car there, goes over the line to take it right on that final lap on the flag. So Roger Wilkinson did so well, only to get himself spun out at the end, leaving 2:25, the former world champion Graham Lashley from Emsworth to take the title. 1:13. Carl Gallagher was second, and coming over the line, I think, to take the third place was indeed Roger Wilkinson. Closing stages here. This is exactly what happened. Roger Wilkinson thought he got it in the bag, but the back marker, as I suspected, had got other ideas, and it didn't take much of a nudge once the back end was hanging out to push him round.